Live from the Talking Joe studios,
it's Talking Joe with Chief and Chris. Hey, it's me, the Chief, joined by my buddy
Diagnostic 80, aka Christopher. Actually, no, it's the other way around. It's Christopher McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80.
We're about 3 seconds in. You're getting it wrong already.
That wasn't my birth name. I think that probably wouldn't have worked, would it, in life?
No,
but
yeah.
hi.
Wait a minute. We picked up a straggler off the street. It's none other than Ben.
It's Ben. I'm back. I've been welcomed back into the loving arms of Talking Joe.
Ben,
it feels good.
Street's back. All right.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but there is actually a song. Guess who just got back today? That boy Ben, who has been away. He hasn't changed that much to say, but man, I still think that cat's crazy. They were asking if he was around, how he was, where he could be found. While Chief and Chris were doing a slam dance downtown, as Talking Joe just keeps on rolling. Now the boys are back in town. The boys. I said the boys are back in town. The boys are back. The boys are back. I said the boys are back in town. The boys are back. The boys are back. Guitar solo.
Hey, Chief, you're still doing that. It's like the blend of so many different genres when you sing.
He's a massive blender.
I wouldn't call it singing, but yes, yeah.
I feel like you're always about to break into a rap. Like,
yeah.
At any second you could do a really bad rap.
Yeah.
Good Lord. It's
and obviously
good to be back, guys.
In rap talk, really bad is really good. So
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
What haven't I been up to, Chief? I feel bad that I left Talking Joe, but it feels really good to come back in.
I was going to say, but it feels really good to leave.
I left because I had a very busy summer, and I think I was getting stressed out with Chief's rigid routine. And I was like, if I can't commit to this man, I'm going to have to leave this man. So I just thought...
No, you went off travelling, didn't you?
Yeah, not travelling. It was kind of a working/life experience. Yeah, travelling.
Working slash, I thought you were just going to say.
Went to Cape Town, did safari, and then went to LA, and then ended up in Miami. Really awesome. Really cool. Nice. But how's the landscape of Talking Joe been?
Exceptional.
Has it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do keep tabs, but the thing is, I fell out of reading it, so I was like, I can't listen to you guys. I want to actually do it properly and read along. But
okay,
yeah.
So you got catching up to do. No, it's going well. I think. Diagnostic, pleased.
No, I am. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great show. Having fun. I'm really glad you contacted me, Chief, to say, can you do all the work, you piece of shit. So.
That was incredible. You just came swooping in, and you didn't even miss a beat.
No, I don't think we missed a week. Actually, no, it was good. So
because I listened to your Action Force special. When did you guys do that? Early summer.
Easter.
Yeah, and I was like, crikey, this guy's talented. Maybe you should just do it with him.
And I turned up. Oh, you were sorry, I thought you were talking about me. Thank you. No, that was fun. That was a fun show, doing just like that little special. Because we kind of had talked about that beforehand, hadn't we, Chief? Just to do like a little special, and then I think it was shortly after that was it Ben that you had to leave?
I think that rattled me.
I forced you out. It was a hostile takeover.
I found that so fascinating. Was it a two-parter? It was, wasn't it? It was two-parter. The Action Force one.
Big video, I think. I don't think it was a two-parter.
Was it not two-parter? Maybe I listened to it in two stints.
I think we released the audio as a two-parter.
Oh, of course, yes.
YouTube was a...
Because TriCast is a pile of...
Yeah. But Action Force is so unique. I actually learned quite a lot listening to that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I don't know if people feel like they learn anything listening to the Talking Joes that I did. I don't know.
Yeah, everything's a learning curve. I mean, we got some more Action Force goodies coming up, not on this episode.
Have you? What?
Yeah, but Action Force Monthly, which in the US was European
missions. Got it. Yeah.
So we'll be doing that. I've actually borrowed a custom bind from Mark Seddon, one of our faithful 3 followers.
I'm wondering, Chief, if we should do that as a normal series of episodes, or if you want to do it in one go. Because I don't know, it's up to you really. But I know we've already said to everyone that we're doing a Christmas special.
How many issues is
Just
it?
Chief singing.
15. So that's if we do maybe like 16 theme tunes, you should be all right.
Yeah,
mate?
so that's a theme tune for each issue.
Well, I was looking through the issue we're covering this week, 155, and I'm not sure we can cram in all the musical segments this week.
Oh, for goodness sake! No,
I
we
was
probably
hoping.
can't.
I was hoping we could.
There goes half your
I'll just put
subscribers.
I'll just throw them in randomly, just for no reason. Just all of a sudden the fashion jingle just goes off. Yeah.
Chief, you're so theatrical. You've gone completely into the wrong career path. Do you know that? You were born for the stage.
He was definitely
What kind of stage?
Well, the singing stage.
one of those stages that has a noose on it. That
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Or the sort of
With a
corner of a
trapdoor.
shopping mall. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either or.
Chris, what have you been up to this week, my friend?
Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, it's been Thanksgiving, or we kind of combine because my birthday's the 27th of November. So thanks. Kate's
I didn't know
birthday-
that. Actually, I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Kate's birthday is the 29th today, and Thanksgiving was smack bang in the middle. So we basically had this kind of big 3-day bender, effectively. So yeah, it's just been, kind of prezzies and Thanksgiving food. Kate made an amazing meal the other day for everyone, and I'm still reeling from it. I had to have like thirds.
Now, was that turkey based?
No, it was because
He's vegan.
we're dairy free and meat free. So
Okay.
because of allergies and so on and so forth. Not myself, but mainly for Kate. And she makes this amazing vegan meal. It's just incredible.
Oh man, I'm so close to going vegan after watching that Netflix doc.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which
I'm
one's
so
that? Because
close.
my missus told me.
Game Changers, Chief.
Which one?
Game Changers.
Okay,
Chris
Mark.
is a game changer. He's changed the game.
Yeah, my missus has got me watching that tonight, I think, in the hope of turning me.
3 years vegan-ish.
Do you know what, Chief? It's not about putting a label on it and turning. It just you don't. You just got to start somewhere. You don't have to go all in. Just cut out meat buying it and just have it at a restaurant for a
No,
treat.
but I'm not. I'm pescatarian anyway. But my missus has gone hardcore anti-plastic, so no.
She
single
stopped eating plastic. That's really
stopped
good
eating
of her.
plastic.
Really
No
good of her.
single-use
Hygienic.
plastics allowed in the house. So no toothpaste, no shampoo or shower gel in bottles.
No Haribo. No
Wait,
Haribo.
Stinks.
She gave the kid a bath yesterday in porridge. She gave her a porridge bath.
Oats.
Yeah, an oat porridge.
You
bath.
actually shouldn't do that, Chief. A wild party back when I was 18 for a prank. We filled up this bath full of oats.
Nice.
And then hit the taps.
Yeah.
And porridge started coming out of the downstairs taps.
Wowzers.
Oh, my
And we
goodness.
just clogged the whole system. Why are you bathing your kid in oats?
No, that's the missus. She's like, I don't know. That's the thing. And all the Teflon cooking pans, they got kicked out because Teflon's
So is
bad
that,
for
are you doing toothpaste without,
the
toothy
plasticky
tabs.
bits. Yeah.
what do you call it in it?
Those
It's
little
called
plastic bits.
fluoride.
The stuff that actually cleans your teeth.
Fluoride.
Yeah.
No, we got toothy tabs. They look like little smints, and they apparently got fluoride in them.
Right.
They're horrible. But anyway,
Oh, crikey. It's a difficult time out there, isn't it? There's so many things to get into.
yeah.
I feel guilty about.
Quick shout out. I did do this episode actually won't go out till a week after Thanksgiving. As always, we're in that DeLorean time machine, which is our past, your future, someone's present. So this will be 1 week later. But I did tweet yesterday, which will be 8 days ago when you listen to this, a
bit confused, Chief.
a
Oh,
bet
God.
I had on the NFL Thanksgiving games. And that came in. I had £5 on Alan Robinson to score a touchdown in the first game, under 47 points in the second game, and New Orleans to win by more than 6 in the third game. That came in, got me 50 quid. So all good.
Nice.
Oh, well done, Chief.
Congratulations.
Sports related, my football team just sacked their manager
saw that.
literally minutes ago.
Oh,
saw
you're an
that.
Arsenal fan.
Emery is gone, and it's a great day. It's very good.
Who do you reckon you'll get next?
Wenger?
Could you imagine?
No, do you know what? I want the it's the chap from Wolves, the Portuguese chap.
Oh,
I forget his
yes,
name, but he's really
Santos?
cool. He seems really cool and sort of forward thinking, and yeah, we shall see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've checked out.
The only thing I've really been up to this week is not much. You wouldn't know it because as soon as the record button hits for Talking Joe, Chief cranks it up to 11, but I'm actually really ill. I actually taken the day off work today. I had a temperature of 39 degrees, jaw ache, neck ache, back ache. Came down with something last night, and
jaw ache.
Yeah. It was just,
That's AIDS, mate. I think.
Okay. Even now, I'm like my fingers are tight. You know your fingers. You get that when you.
I can't relate to any of your symptoms.
Are these? Right, hang on, I'm going online and I'm finding whatever.
I've got a tight jaw and your fingers hurt.
It's one of the hepatitises I think you've got, mate.
Anyway,
you've
what I'm saying
climbing.
is, I had a heat pack.
Got a really tight hole.
One of those heat packs that are kind of like got gel inside it, and you have to.
I love those.
You snap. Well, it's one of these ones.
Snap the disc.
It's got a disc. You snap.
So awesome.
And all the liquid goes solid heat, and then you have to boil it in a pan to turn
reset.
It back to exactly. So I found it in the cupboard. It was in a solid state, so I needed to boil it down. So put the pan on. Now, of course, the Teflon pan, which this would have fit in, is now at the charity shop. So I've now got a stainless steel pan, which is not quite big enough. So I filled it with water, put this thing in. It's not really all the way in. I've gone into the living room. I thought I'll play a little bit of retro gaming.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah. I'm retro gaming. That's what I'm playing. So don't be shaming, because then you'll be failing. Nintendo Power, not in the shower. Sega for the ages. Ghouls and Ghost Rages. Atari Jaguar. How did it get that far? Sony PlayStations gave me sensations. And now I have to go and do some retro gaming. I said retro gaming. And I'm out. Retro
Okay, carry on.
gaming. That's what I'm saying. Play that jingle. So I'll come on to the retro gaming in a second. I'll finish this story first.
It's still playing. So.
Okay. You've not heard it, Ben. It's a good jingle. And then the fire alarm goes off. So I'm like, what the hell? Where's the fire coming from? I'm not cooking anything.
You've got a fire alarm in your house.
Smoke alarm. Smoke alarm.
Oh, okay.
Fire alarm. Smoke alarm goes off. I'm not cooking anything. What's going on? Gone into the kitchen, and I've left it for about 20 minutes, and this thing has boiled dry, and now the plastic has split open, and all the liquid, whatever that stuff is inside, has come out, and there's just a cloud of toxic gas swirling around the kitchen.
Bloody hell.
And yeah, not good. I immediately got a headache.
Is this inside Chief's mind, by the way?
No, this is not inside Chief's mind yet. But
that's a shame.
So now I ruined the pan.
That would have been two birds, one stone right there.
It's a brand new pan that the missus bought like 2 weeks ago. So now I've got to buy a new pan. So I'm looking for Black Friday deals on pans. And I got even more ill, and yeah, that's that. So that's what I've been up to.
Emma always shouts at me because I leave the pan on with boiling eggs, and the eggs just explode, and I have to scrape them off the ceiling.
Yeah, well, I've done that in work twice, where I poach eggs in a mug.
They make such a cool noise.
I poach eggs in a mug at work in the microwave, and I've exploded them twice all over the microwave. But anyway,
poaching eggs in a mug in a microwave.
So anyway,
that's fine dining.
Back to retro gaming. Back to retro gaming. I'm talking Sega Mega Drive. I'm talking Comic.
I'm so keen.
Comic Zone, as in COMIX.
Yeah.
Now, I'm playing this on the Mega Drive Mini.
Nice.
So full pad, yeah. That's a proper pad.
It's a proper. It is a proper pad. Yeah. The D-pad is a little bit stiff. It's a USB pad.
That's good because the proper ones are loosey goosey.
Yeah. This game is really hard. Now,
of course it is. It's
a
retro game,
but there's not even any continue options on it. It's basically once you die, that's it. Start at the beginning, and a lot of these games.
That's the essence of retro gaming.
Yeah, but a lot of them come with you can set your continues to be infinite or change the difficulty setting. This game has no continues, and you cannot change the difficulty setting. So,
yeah, harder than Ghouls and Ghosts.
I managed to get to episode 2 after about 45 minutes of gaming that was interrupted by the smoke alarm going off.
It took me 4 hours to get to the end of the first level of Contra, and I still haven't completed it. So,
so I'm going to be going back to that tomorrow. Have either of you two done any retro gaming in this past week?
Yeah, at the moment I'm currently doing a replay of GoldenEye.
On what level setting?
Dude, come on, 00.
007. Right.
I'm at the one where it's so annoying you have to protect Natalia at the end when she's uploading all the stuff.
Yes.
It's really frustrating. Do you know what? I got stuck on train
everyone
so
gets
long,
stuck on train.
and I actually had to Google it because I was like, how did we do it when we were younger? And I found out that you have to shoot the general, and that gives you a bit more time to get your watch laser out and get out.
Now then, the only question I really need answering is, does it hold up? Is it worth me playing?
What, GoldenEye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Out of all, it holds up massively. It's so awesome. I can't stop playing it.
All
It's
right.
amazing, and Phoenix is playing it. It's
got
good.
to
I
be
think
up there
what I
as
do-
one of the longest loved games, hasn't it? Like, it's one of those games that just everybody seems to absolutely have so much nostalgia for, but at the same time, it's still, like, playability-wise, it's just like an incredible game that has lasted so long.
I think it's down to the level design and the kind of the missions and the objectives that they give you. I don't know, the levels are just so incredible. And then I started YouTubing it, and this whole speed run thing that all these YouTubers are into. Have you seen this with these retro games?
Just trying to get through it ASAP.
It is unbelievable. But I think a lot of them are doing it on emulators because it's very obvious when someone's playing it on an N64. You can just tell.
Because they're dying every few seconds.
Well, yeah, the emulators, everything. I mean, it does look like GoldenEye, but it's so sort of responsive. I don't know. It just feels different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where do you stand on emulators?
Well, obviously I've got the SNES Mini and the Mega Drive Mini, which technically
If you've
are
got the-
emulators.
Yeah, but if you've got the pad.
I'm going to say you've got the control pad, then it kind of it's simulating it in almost perfect conditions, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how does that look on your TV, Chief? What does that do? Is it still in sort of 4:3 with some jazzy designs on the wings?
You can play it 4:3. It is ever so slightly pixelated, like as in it looks a little bit too blocky as to when I play my Mega Drive up in the loft now on my old school TV, which looks perfect. On the downstairs TV, it just looks ever so slightly not
on an 80-inch, 4K.
No, it's only like
you know what? I am
36
doing.
inch or whatever.
I actually am doing so much retro gaming at the moment. I've also on the Nintendo Switch they released a SNES patch emulator kind of thing, totally free. So I've been playing a lot of Pilot Wings. Do you remember that?
I love. We talked about Pilot Wings. Not too
So
long ago.
sort of geeky and boring, but really relaxing.
But isn't
It's
it
like
weird that
therapy.
at the end of it, when you kind
Gets
of complete all your
military.
missions, you go on a desert strike type
Yes.
jungle strike thing, don't you? It's
You
nuts.
do.
So weird. Honestly, that took me. But when I was a kid and I was playing that game, I loved Pilot Wings. Like it was, I just enjoyed doing like the free fall through the rings and like the
bonus games.
just all that. I just loved it. And then all of a sudden at the end, that pops up, and I'm like, what? Have I got a different game in here? What's going on? And it's like, you're now trained enough to go on some sort of heavy military mission. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. But yeah.
Now on the Switch, you can basically do this thing, Chief, where you can effectively just rewind. So
Yes, yep.
I'm playing games, but very fast. I'm just sort of, I did Super Mario World.
So what? When you die, you rewind.
But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not operating within the realms of the original game.
Right.
I literally just hit the buttons and just as soon as I die, I just go back. But it still makes, it's really
I
cool
think you can
going
do
back
that on the
into these
SNES Mini,
games.
actually.
You probably can, yeah.
Anyway, it's about time we need to have a beverage for the show.
Beverage for the show, do-do-do-do-do-do. Beverage for the show, do-do-do-do-do-do. Now I am gonna go, do-do, and drink my beverage for the show.
Right, okay. What have you got then? Who's going first?
Well, I've got one. I've got Strathmore Water, Scotland. It's an ethical brand. It's a glass bottle. It's very left wing, and I'm really enjoying it.
Okay. Sparkling still?
I feel like you have to be over 40 to have water with gas.
Okay.
Do you or
Yeah,
not?
I don't know.
It
I
sounds
am-
like something my mum orders when I take her out to a restaurant.
I am over 40 and I do drink sparkling water.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Explained.
Yeah.
Chris, have you crossed the line yet? Or
I'm 39 as of yesterday, day before yesterday. So
bravo! That's
I've still got one more year before I get into the gassy stuff.
before you go beyond the veil.
I'm going to keep my gas in my stomach.
Yeah. And out of your... What have you got to drink, though?
I have a very interesting thing. So, big shout out. We obviously had the family round for Thanksgiving. A big shout out to my brother-in-law Drew, who gave me, listens to the show and enjoys all of the segments that we do, Chief, and doesn't really know what we're talking about when it comes to the comic side, but he is loving it. And he wanted so bad to get a shout out on the show that he got me a really random drink to have for the beverages. Now, this is really interesting because it's one of those ones that you've got like a twist cap that releases some sort of stuff into the actual drink below. You then have to shake it and then drink it. So this is a twist shake matcha now, 100% pure, the king of green tea, healthy focused energy, ceremonial grade matcha, and it says Buddha teas, which is interesting. USDA organic. Yada yada yada. 12 fluid ounces, 355 millilitres. Now it's got a green weird top thing that I have to twist. So here we'll try that first. Oh wow, that's cool. So as I twist it, it's just released this green shit into the like see-through liquid underneath. Now I've got to shake it. Sounds like I'm having a but whatever. I'll give it a good old shake. Go on, son. And finished. And then it says remove white cap, enjoy fresh matcha. Now here we go. This could taste like buttholes. It could be lovely. Let's have a pop. Here we go. Just like tea with no sugar in it, basically.
Chris, can I shock you? I think my wife's company worked on that drink.
That's amazing. It's
Really?
beautiful. It's the best drink ever.
I think I even filmed some people doing vox pops on it.
That's amazing.
And the company coming up with the system of the pouring. I remember doing that.
That's remarkable.
That is wild. It's
That's
actually gone to market. It's gone to market.
As if the one drink I get to do for this particular show, you're on it.
That's insane.
Wow.
Well,
I
remember testing
nice.
it. It's just a table full of people shaking drinks, doing different things.
That's amazing.
That's mad.
Chief, what have you got?
I've got I'm also going to be shaking something, but that comes in a second.
And funnily enough, that works. What you just said.
I'm pouring two things into my glass. The first is a Cocoa Canoe original Jamaica rum with coconut flavour.
Cocoa Canoe.
Yeah.
Did you say?
KOKO KNNK.
Wait, is this rum?
Again? Yeah. KOKO.
How much have you had already?
NU.
It's 2:30. That's fantastic.
It's 2:30 UK time. This is a product of Jamaica, 37.5%. Let's pour some of that in the glass there.
Chief is
I
getting
think it's like
faced.
I think it's
Do you
like
just free pour, Chief, or do you have a little?
No, free pour. I think it's like a posh person's Malibu. And then
nice.
I'm also going to mix into it here a pineapple, coconut, and lime.
And ruin it.
Smoothie.
Oh, what? Oh, God.
No?
Go for it.
All right,
I mean,
I'll tell you what, then I'll sip it just straight, first of all.
just have it neat, I would, just to taste it.
Chug, 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 chug.
Yeah. I'm going to pour that pineapple in.
Do a butt chug. Pour it up your bum. It gets into your system quicker.
It hits
apparently.
you faster, apparently, yeah.
Right, pour that pineapple in, let's have a try.
I think anything hits you fast.
If you
faster
stick it
around
up
there.
Yeah, totally.
I'm giving it 7 out of 10.
This cucumber's gonna hit my system quick as I jam it up my bum.
Right, fortunately we've all got drinks. Fortunately I've got an alcoholic drink because we do have to go.
Inside Chief's mind. Ah!
Sometimes
Always people.
Yeah.
sometimes on Chief's World we like to keep it real.
Hang on, is this a new podcast?
Not Chief's
you've made?
World. Not- Sometimes on Inside, we were talking prior to recording. We were just talking, the three of us, about Chief's World, which is a
Cancelled TV show.
a cancelled TV show that I made the pilot of about 25 years ago.
Oh my god, that thing is brilliant.
Have you? I was going to say, Chris, have you seen it?
I have. He sent it to me randomly one day, and I
Don't
was
you
just
think
like, what
he was?
I sent it.
He
I
was
sent
caught
it.
out of time, Chief. You came too soon.
He definitely came too
You know?
soon.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put a link out there on the Twitter sphere to
All
Chief's
over my
World.
back.
Yeah. So yeah, no. On Inside Chief's Mind, we like to keep it real sometimes, and I'm keeping it real this time today. So this is not really. I guess
Real.
it is something that's been bugging me, and it's more of a concern slash, fear possibly. So my kid came home. My kid is 4. Just started school in September this year, so she's
awesome.
She's the youngest in the year because she's end of August birthday, and she came home from school on Friday with it was like
Black
a
eye.
dress down day. No, she had felt tip on a shoe.
Right.
I was like,
as you do.
she's a rule follower, so she's not breaking rules. She's a rule follower. And I said, "Why have you got felt tip on your pen?" And she said,
your pen?
Pixie told me I had to colour my shoe in if I wanted to sit next to her."
Wow.
And I was like, "All right,
Pixie
okay."
sounds like a douche.
I was like, "Okay," and
In more ways than one.
I said, "What did you do? What did you do at school? Did you go on the whiteboard?" She said, "Oh yeah, Pixie said I could only go on the whiteboard if I colour my shoe in again."
Okay, is Pixie running the show here? What's going on?
Okay, so I was like, "Okay, all right, fine." I was like, you shouldn't be drawing on your trainers no matter what anyone's telling you." So then on Monday, she comes home and she's got felt tip pen on her face. So I said, "Why have you got felt tip pen on your face?" And she said, "Oh, Pixie drew on my face."
Wow.
I said,
Is Pixie real?
I said, "Did you want her to?" And she said, "No." I said, "Well, next time she tries, you just tell her, I don't like that. Don't draw on my face." I was like, "Okay." So on Tuesday, I went in to see the teacher and I said, "Look, I'm not using the word bullying, but it looks like this little Pixie's bullying my kid."
But I'm not going to use this word bullying.
And then she
but I'm
said,
gonna beat
"There is no
shit out of this kid.
There is no Pixie in this school, sir."
Dun dun dun.
And she said, "All right, don't worry, we'll keep an eye on it." I was like, "Okay, fine."
It's Bruce
and
Willis,
then-
isn't it? It's
and
Bruce
then
Willis.
On this was last week. Then I got a text message from the missus on the Thursday saying, "I'm going to pick up Evelyn. Pixie's just headbutted her."
Oh,
Pixie
my
just jacked it up a notch.
goodness.
There's nothing in between.
Well, no, there was something in between. Earlier that morning, she had told Evelyn she didn't want to be her friend anymore, which Evelyn went crying off to the teacher about. And then at
Chief, you're going to have
lunchtime,
to step in
at
here.
lunchtime in the queue
Find
for
a dad.
lunch, she assaulted her. So 4-year-old.
In hell.
Where are you sending this kid to school, Chief?
So the teacher said,
Belmore.
I'm going to call, I'm going to call the parents of the kid because her nan always picks her up. I'm going to call the
She's a
parents,
nan kid.
and it could have gone
Strange ways.
It can
I'm
go
just
one
trying to
of
think
two.
of British prisons. Sorry.
It can
carry
go
on.
one of two ways, I guess. When you speak to the parents, they could either say, "Well, this kid must have promoted my kid to react like that," or
Yeah.
I guess it goes the other way. And it went the other way. They were like profusely apologising, apparently, to the teacher, saying, "Oh, we're so sorry. Please, tell the parents and the kid that this shouldn't happen." Blah blah blah. But Pixie can be like that, is what they said. What?
Oh, no, I hate that.
And,
Pixie can be like that.
This is the
What? A bit
Yeah.
headbutty.
Yeah, and this is I think her mum. I see a few mums on the way to school.
You're going to judge. You're going to judge.
Yeah, of course I'm
Do
going
it.
to judge. They stand outside. 3 of them. They stand outside the school gate smoking.
Roll-ups.
And one of the mums is on a mobility scooter with her daughter in the back with a dummy, while
There
this
you
woman
go.
in the mobility scooter is chain smoking. All the smoke's going back into a kid's face.
There you go. That's pretty much. You don't have to judge it. I mean, you can just tell right there that is just the circle of life right there, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mobility scooter.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
What? Just quickly, is that a size issue?
she's a largish woman, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Jeez.
I think it's pronounced fat.
Oh, okay.
So Chris is coming in hot.
I'm angry. Like
So-
this whole story is making me want to shake a number of human beings.
The worst thing of all is my kid still wants to be friends with this Pixie girl, and I think it's because she doesn't really play with anyone else, and she's worried that if she doesn't have this friendship with this person who is obviously
A
controlling
psychopath.
her,
Yeah.
then she's not going to play with anyone else. So
It's tough when you send them to school because you can't.
Yeah.
They've got to make decisions and choices, and it gets complex.
on the flip side,
I never felt like that as a kid, but when I think about if I had to send a child to school, I just couldn't do it. It'd be impossible for me to do.
Yeah. I think nursery sort of sets you up for that. Nursery was a lot harder, and then school, I just thought,
on the flip side, she is excelling academically.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
So
I feel like she's going to be a clever one.
She's
Academia.
already writing and reading already.
Is she doing all your
which is-
raps?
Yeah, she wrote all my raps. There's some kids in the class that they're teaching how to hold a pen still.
Bloody hell! I bet Pixie's in that crew, isn't she?
Yeah. So
How to hold a shiv, they call it for her, probably.
right, we're about 30 minutes in, and I forgot the main reason we're here is we're talking about G.I. Joe comics. So it's time for Comic Talk.
Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hama writes them, Chief and Chris discuss them, whoa. Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hama writes them, Chief and Chris discuss them, whoa.
Comic talk.
Comic Talk.
Do you put in jingles there?
Yeah.
Yes. No, we just do that.
Yeah. There's about six. There's about 6 jingles, man.
Oh, I can't wait to listen to this. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
What?
Sorry, just on the sidelines. Do you know what I've been getting into? I've been getting into sort of like day trading, Chief.
What's that?
Like stocks.
Oh,
I feel I'm Bud Fox. Or am I Gordon Gecko? I don't know.
And successful, obviously.
I'm
otherwise
I've got another screen up with a chart up. And
how's your stocks doing at this moment?
really good. Something
Buy,
just
sell.
Absolutely crashed, and I've bought in whilst it's nice and low, Chief.
Was it Matcha Now, the king of green tea, healthy focused energy drink?
It's an Egyptian gold mine.
Blimey.
Called Centamin.
Okay, am I the only one thinking road trip here? Am I the only one thinking Talking Joe road trip to this gold mine to, to basically cement your investment?
I'm really getting into it, I have to say.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right.
G.I. Joe.
This is issue 155, Real American Hero, the final issue. This came out December 1994. So it was a good run overall. Let's have a look at the cover. And this is a whole selection of Joes with Stalker and Hawk kind of folding up the flag.
Couple brought back from the dead, isn't there? Like Quick Kicks there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And Breaker. He's not
Zombie.
He's not alive, technically.
Yeah, forgot about that. And it says, this is it, the final issue. Cover's okay, I guess.
Well, it's okay for what it's doing, isn't it, I guess.
Yeah.
Chief, were you getting this issue in real time in 94? Or did you read it after the fact?
I think I started collecting monthly in real time at around 110, 115, something like that.
Where were you buying them from, incidentally?
I was
Floppy Tongue.
At the time, I was buying them from Floppy Tongue in Salisbury. Yeah, was the local comic shop for me.
Or Wonderworld in Bournemouth? No, Boscombe.
Yeah, Wonderworld, and then I ordered
all
the back issues.
Were they just getting them in then generally, and rather you didn't have to order them in?
No.
See, we were in Norwich or Norfolk area.
See, I was in Norwich.
We would have to the order forms you'd get, like the kind of all of the comics that were out there. Yeah, we would have to go through there and choose them and then send off for them. Like, there's about 3 of us that would do that. There was one comic store in Norwich at the time, and now there's I think there's only one there now. But at the time, we didn't know it existed, and we went there one day and we were like, minds blown, all these comics everywhere. But G.I. Joe just wasn't available for us. So yeah,
I think they're probably it's the type of title. Look, X-Men, they're going to order in 10, 15, 20 copies.
Yeah,
they're going to have regular subscribers who are going to, on their standing orders, are going to get some issues. But for G.I. Joe, I imagine they probably only ordered one or 2 copies.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Unless you specifically, for the shelf, I mean, unless you specifically ordered it to go into your monthly,
your pull list.
Your pull list, yeah. So this is it then. This is the final issue.
It's sad, isn't it?
The basic synopsis of this one is we remember Wade Collins, who was a member of the Long Range Recon Patrol with Snake Eyes and Stalker et al. And
Ramon.
Ramon, etc. And his kid is now, Sean, is now thinking about, he's now 17, he's thinking about signing up.
He's well up for
the armed forces. And what he does is he writes a letter to Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes replies, because his dad says, he says to him, "What, Dad? Why don't you ever tell me about the war and all that sort of stuff?" He goes, best left unsaid. If you want to hear it from a true soldier's mouth, go and see Snake Eyes, or send a letter to Snake Eyes, and then we get.
I found it hard to read his writing.
We
Chief.
get Snake Eyes' response. Well,
yes.
on my
I was really glad that Snake Eyes typed it.
Yeah. So we get that kind of response from Snake Eyes, and while that's happening, we get the closing down of the pit. But one of the things I do have written on my pad is font ? So the font used for Sean's letter
unnecessary.
does make it hard to read, I thought.
Yeah, big time.
And but you feel really accomplished when you finally get through one of those little blocks, though. It's like,
Yes.
it's like, honour. I see.
The other plus side of it, I thought, the other plus side was it slowed my reading down of his text a little bit more, and it kind of made me actually think about the word,
Exactly. Yeah.
think about the context and what he's actually saying a little bit more, rather than just buzzing through each panel. So
Totally, yeah.
there was a negative, but also a positive to it, I thought.
I thought it was actually quite nice after all those issues that, they kind of acknowledged quite aggressively that, there's a cost to this, guys. It's brutal out there.
Yeah.
And the kind of overarching message was, it's bad. War is bad, kids.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite fitting for the final issue.
I should just say, actually, the creators here are Larry Hama's obviously on script, Phil Gossier's pencils, Scott Cobblish on inks, Chai on colours, and Vicky Williams on letters.
Did you feel like I actually wanted a little bit more of the pit, and I thought that was a little bit rushed? Did you not think, considering it was the last issue, did you want a little bit more?
Yeah, the focus is clearly it's Snake Eyes and Wade Collins, and Snake Eyes and Sean Collins, I should say. So that's what he wants to utilise in the story. He wants to have the flashback and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it's just, if you're just talking about what Snake Eyes thinks about the whole thing, it really does take away from G.I. Joe as a whole. And I know at the time, obviously, Snake Eyes was the more popular character, and they even did the G.I. Joe or Snake Eyes featuring G.I. Joe kind of title for a while. Yeah. But I just feel like it does. If you want to finish on Joe, I wanted to see them shutting stuff down, or maybe even going on one last mission. I thought would have been really, really good. But maybe include. Had they known that it was ending rather than the last issue when they knew it was ending, had they known a little bit more in advance, I think Larry probably would have done a 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 issue build-up arc that included pretty much everyone on the current roster. As it was, I think he was kind of blindsided. He's like, well, what can I do that will, kind of appease all this? What can I do in a short period of time in one issue? And I think this kind of deals with it, but like you said, I would definitely prefer more of the Pit and more of the Joes.
Yeah. I think
what is the context?
What I mean is in the context of Larry finding out last minute that he only had one issue to go, I think he's probably done a good job with just one issue to go.
So can you just describe what was the landscape then? They literally said, we are not shifting enough of these, we're shutting you down, next issue. Go.
Pretty much. So, yeah. Let me just have a look in the issue 1.
That's brutal, isn't it? Although I'm sure it didn't come as a surprise.
In the back of 154, in the back of 154, it says a message from Mike, who's the editor, and it says, "Yo, Joes, hope you enjoyed our double guest stint," because there was guest writers for 153 and 154. Here in the pages of G.I. Joe, but have no fear, rabid ones. Lethal Larry Hama returns next issue in an unforgettable story featuring Wade Collins, not seen since issue 43. Although we know that was actually wrong. He did appear in the 90s, but that doesn't suggest that it was the last issue.
Well, this is the thing. I think Larry's actually spoken about this in panels in the past, where he said that he had to rejig the story. Like this was just going to be an issue, a standalone issue that he wanted to do. And then obviously with it being the last issue, he had to kind of rejig the landscape. That's why it feels like a bit of a...
shoehorned in.
Yeah, almost like it doesn't feel natural that just because Snake Eyes and Sean Collins are having a conversation, that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end of G.I. Joe. So that kind of, it doesn't feel natural, does it?
Yeah, I wonder if the Sean Collins Snake Eyes story was going to be the whole issue with none of the closing down of the pit.
Yeah. Totally.
And then Larry's he doesn't want to get rid of that whole Sean Snake Eyes bit, so he's put in just a few pages of the pit closing down.
Yeah, but he kind of worked it in that, Stalker's coming to give the letters out, and they're kind of decommissioning the pit and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel like when I read this the first time, it was after the fact. I didn't get this at the time, but when I read this during, when I first read it, I actually was quite cut up about it. But when I reread this recently to do the show, I didn't feel as I did back then when I was I kind of just felt like I was seeing things for the first time almost, and kind of going, oh yeah, this doesn't feel necessarily right. It doesn't feel like 100% like it should be the last issue. So yeah, I definitely have a bit of a mixed emotion over it.
Yeah, I think I was after something a little bit more poignant from some of the other Joes.
Yeah.
I wanted more dialogue.
Yeah, big time.
From other people.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
I do like that bit where Stalker's got the mailbag and he's going to the pit, and Spirit's like password, and the password is sesquipedalian. And I looked it up because over the last few issues, Larry's been put, especially mainly for Cobra Commander, in fact only for Cobra Commander, he's putting in lots of long, winded
crazy
words
vocab.
and phrases that I don't really understand or have heard before. And so I looked it up. Sesquipedalian means someone who uses overlong words. That's nice. That's nice.
Brilliant.
Actually, Wade, we see Wade here in some kind of street civilian clothes. So is that enough of a fashion G.I. Joe change for the jingle?
Yes, it is.
Armani, Prada, Versace too. Joe's changed their outfits from black to blue. Duke and Hawk, look but don't gawk. Changing their kit, whoa, is that legit? Swapping camo jackets, headgear and boots. It's now neon colours and funky spacesuits. Sci-fi Stalker and even Roadblock. While Bill, Flint and Mutt gave me a shock. So go take a walk if clothes aren't your passion, because it's comic book talk and lovely G.I. Joe fashion. There it is, there's the jingle. Okay. And what did we think overall of Sean? Comes across as someone who has got honour and, you know, good morals and wants to be an upstanding citizen, and he's talks about slackers around him, and there's actually you, I think there's a when he's writing the letter, there's a guy on a phone with a sweater kind of tied up over his back. I think there's a stockbroker just like you, Ben.
It's Bud Fox.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And he's talking about all these guys who are only interested in money.
Buy, sell.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously Sean will play a big part in the IDW continuation of this.
Currently, he's at the moment, spoiler alert, he's in a story called Snake Hunt, which you have to say very carefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he is the new Snake Eyes, am I right or not?
He's a character called Throwdown, but he dresses in Snake Eyes gear to convince Cobra that he's the original Snake Eyes.
Okay.
They're not aware.
I'm going to say 25 to 30 issues behind. So I still get them all monthly, but I'm just waiting for a massive reread.
Well, you know, you can wait till we actually do that episode in 13 years' time.
Yeah, no. I think in the new year, when we finish off this, I will actually do a personal. Start off at 155.5 and do a personal reread over like a month all the way up to present day, I think.
Cool.
Very personal.
Anyway, and then Snake, are we happy with kind of Snake Eyes' reply? He like you said, Benny.
I think so, because what's the other... I mean, I think it would be a bit strange if he went the other way.
Yeah, I mean,
and was
Larry...
like, do it, buddy.
Yeah, it's great. I've learned so much. I've killed
forces.
so many people. It's amazing.
Yeah, Larry obviously served in the armed forces, but he is obviously a pacifist.
Chicks dig scars, that kind of thing, yeah.
So I think it went, you know, the way...
There's a brutal panel in there when he's showing some dude just getting blown apart and his skin is flaying off.
I know.
It's like, war is hell.
And interestingly, we haven't really seen much inside the mind of Snake Eyes in 155 issues. There was
Inside Snake Eyes' mind.
There was that early
vacuous.
There was that early issue. I think I'm going to say it's issue 4, Operation Wingfield. Remember that one, Ben, where the Joes go in? There's some drill instructor, and he's training up some sort of
paramilitary
army kind of thing. And Snake Eyes is writing in a diary. He's outside the perimeter fence in a tree. And he says something like, whoever, I forget who the other Joe is, but he calls him Sloppy or whatever, or he calls him Noisy. And he's writing in the font that kind of Sean's using here, kind of italic fonts. And you get a little peek, very, very briefly, into Snake Eyes, what he's thinking. But apart from that, we don't really get much at all from what he's thinking all the way up to 155. So it's kind of nice to get inside his mind a little bit.
Yeah, because you kind of... it's always, whenever there's like a scene with Snake Eyes, it's always the other character that's like having to do all of the work dialogue-wise. Like, you know, it's usually Scarlet who's got like 500 word balloons on a page just because she's trying to have a conversation with somebody. and answer for them at the same time. It's always like a very difficult thing with Snake Eyes, isn't it, in comics?
And he kind of ends it off nicely because he says, expect to see the worst that humanity has to offer. Nastiness to the nth degree, vileness, meanness, total despicable cruelty and unspeakable inhumanity. Expect to see the best that humanity has to offer. Selfless bravery, compassion, honour and dignity in the face of sure death. So
Yeah, you're going to see the best and the worst there.
Yeah.
In the old war.
And then, as we've commented on, you only get a couple of pages of the pit closing down right at the end with, the folding of the flag, the saluting, and another thing I did like when they
reminds me of The Simpsons, where the embassy's getting taken over in Australia, and the two Marines fold the flag up and then they eat it. And
Love that.
Yeah. So I am still thinking about doing a complete Simpsons rewatch.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
They're all available on Disney Plus, but I think everyone's flipping out because the early seasons they're in 4:3, but they've cropped them or zoomed in. So it's basically just Homer's nose.
Right. I think I've got the
So
first
true.
6 on DVD, so I'm all right there.
So true.
One other thing I want to touch on here is when Stalker is dishing out the mail in the pit, and he's like, I've got a letter for Snake Eyes, and I'm looking at the letter, and it just says, the address on the letter is Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Team, Postbox the Pit.
Yeah,
That's it. Amazing.
He lucked out that got there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's supposed to be a secret
obviously
facility.
Postbox the Pit is the letter's name. The name of the letter's page.
And then did Snake Eyes sneak into that poor kid's bedroom and put it under his pillow?
What,
He didn't post it, did he?
The Snake Eyes fairy.
Oh, terrifying.
Yeah.
The skin fairy is what Snake Eyes would be.
Yeah. So what are we saying overall on this issue? How are we yo-joing it?
Well, I'm interested to see I actually got a few questions for you guys on the kind of last sort of 70 odd issues from where I sort of came out. Because basically, I've been listening to, I listen to a lot of YouTubers and stuff and pop culture things, and G.I. Joe actually pops up quite a lot at the moment because they're doing this. Hasbro are making this Snake Eyes film, and literally universally everyone says the same thing. They're like, oh yeah, but if they make it like the like that original run, issues 1 to 60, everyone says 1 to 60, 1 to 60. No one really references anything past that.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that, the second end of that run, Chief? How's it been for you?
Well, if I'm looking at the every Joe story ever list, and how many of the top sort of 20 stories we've got that feature from the back half, Chris, his very top choice with a 10 out of 10 is actually issue 85, which is the second silent issue after issue 21. This is it's called SFX.
Okay.
I think I've got.
And what about yourself?
I've got that number 10, but that is a cracking issue. So there was good stuff, and even Chris has got on his fourth best. He's got 90. Oh, I guess Chris doesn't have the first 70 ranked here yet, but we've both got issues 97 to 100, very high, which is the return of Cobra Commander.
Yeah, I guess I think what people are more referencing is the kind of overall how the IP was changing and being managed.
Yeah, I don't think it's
even from a visual standpoint. The sort of the color palettes.
Yeah, I think that first half is always going to be considered better, and I think probably rightly so. I mean, when we're not saying there's bad artists on the back half, but when you've got the likes of Mike Vosberg, Frank Springer, Rod Wiggum, Ron Wagner, and D. Bright on those first,
I think a lot of it has got to do
issues.
with. I think a lot of it's got to do with the kind of iconic nature of that second version of Snake Eyes, and how the first one where he's the commando and he's got the goggles is kind of like, kind of a little bit like, it's Snake Eyes, he's cool. But then when that second version came out with the visor and timber and all of a sudden he's a ninja commando, it's like he kind of went up another level. And the way he was drawn in that era as well was just, he looked so bad in that get-up.
And that has always been... Just going to pour another Coco Canoe.
That has always been, for him, like his ultimate version. Like everyone just always defaults to that as their favourite, yada, yada, yada. Now, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think the fact that during that time when he had that upgrade, Larry was doing the Arashikage backstory and how that really impactful issue 21 with, all of the secrets are kind of coming out. You start seeing the tattoos and, the links there with Storm Shadow. All of that stuff was kind of happening, and that is the thing that sticks with people because it was so impactful and changes the game. And yeah, big time. And it was well written. And even though Larry, like you said, was doing it, just like making that as he went in like really short kind of periods of time, I think he was feeling it big time at that point, and that was where it was like rolling really smooth.
It feels to me like it was all baked in. Even though maybe he was making it up on the time, it was. He must have been planning that stuff. Because it runs deep.
I think for me, one of the turning points was the shift to, okay, fine, Larry was always kind of at the mercy of Hasbro to a certain degree, but having to fit the figures and the vehicles in. But very early on, they're kind of very much a military style vehicles or figures, and then when it got and because I wasn't really a toy collector past the first couple of years, when I started seeing in the comics these vehicles which to me maybe didn't make any sense story wise and kind of outlandish. I know, Chris, you're a massive fan of version 2 Roadblock and version 2 Zartan, whereas potentially I'm not. But I think that's probably you're influenced by the toys, I guess, a lot. Whereas I didn't have that as an influence, and I was like, yeah, this isn't straying too far away.
But Chief, I think you've mellowed big time, because back in the day, you were coming around my house and you were throwing those snake eyes when they started calling it snake eyes, and when they had you were fuming.
The snake when they renamed it Snake Eyes and Ninja Force.
You had all but checked out.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so, maybe.
And I think I was a kid and I was loving it, and you were killing it for me. I mean, you would basically just say it's trash. Like, the ones that really ticked you off were the is it the Eco Warrior sort of range they did? Not Eco, Sludge Warrior.
What? Yeah, the Eco Warriors.
Is it Eco Warriors?
So now
that sent you over the edge. I bet they're your favourite thing.
I've done a 180. Love the.
I love it.
He loves that.
I love it. Yeah, and also you've done a 180 on Serpentor because you hated Serpentor.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I loved him.
I don't remember hating him, but you're right. I do. I'm a massive fan of the character now, but I don't remember hating him.
The other way.
Right.
And that's what surprised me about reading them again, is when you're just bashing them out and you're just reading them, not waiting a month for the next issue, you actually realise that Serpentor was so brief.
Yeah,
he was.
He
very
really was.
brief.
Yeah.
I mean, even when he's actually around, there's so many issues that he's not even in.
I think for me, because I was watching the cartoon as well, and that was a huge thing for me. And obviously, Arise Serpentor Arise was on VHS, so that was replayed over and over again. Because he had such an extensive time period on the cartoon, I felt like the comics, rather than it just being thinking, because this is the other thing, it's what you know as a kid, that nostalgia and that kind of feel. That's coming back to your point about the Snake Eyes thing. I personally love, Snake Eyes as a character, but I don't think necessarily they should go back to what Larry did in the comics as a movie kind of format, because as much as I love that, I know that it might be a good idea to do something different, fresh, something that reinvigorates the brand, etc., etc. And to be honest, they've tried reinvigorating that story many, many times over in comic form, in cartoon form with Renegades and Resolute and all the different kind of versions of the cartoon that have kind of been out since. So I feel like they've tried it and it hasn't necessarily always worked. They've rejigged it a bit here and there. And they did it again in the films, in Rise of Cobra and Retaliation. They redid that whole Arashikage, Storm Shadow, Blood Brother thing.
But I don't think they doubled down on nostalgia quite enough to get the kind of OG...
Well, it was also garbage
involved.
as well.
Yeah. I'm interested that I don't think they're going to be able to get away with casting a sort of an American for Snake Eyes, do you? If they... I don't know. I just imagine that they wouldn't be able to do that now.
It's Henry Golding is going to be Snake Eyes, isn't he? So
they've done the casting.
Yeah, and he's an Asian actor, so British Asian. So he is, so he's going to be Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
And again, like, I'm quite for that. I want to see something fresh, something new, and if it's good, I mean, the important thing is if it's good, I'm down. Like if it, because this is the thing for me, I'm very much, I come at it from a toy angle because I'm an adult collector. And I know that if we go back to Transformers and look at them, the movies, which I like the first one, but the rest of them are pretty much, utter dog for me.
Did you like Bumblebee?
Yeah, I love Bumblebee.
Yeah,
but,
see, I love Bumblebee.
But the film aspect has pumped so much money into the Transformers brand, billions, that they've been able to do Masterpiece and they've been able to do Siege and War for Cybertron and all this kind of stuff. So for me, it's like the adult collector or the adult nostalgia kind of guy is covered in so many different ways, and just because the film doesn't tick the boxes but it's successful, it's like, great, we get all this other cool stuff that kind of comes along with it. So I'm looking at the Joe brand being successful in order to cater for all this other stuff that we can get as adult collectors, and that's from that perspective, I think that's a bonus. Now, I'm only, if the film is good and successful, that's all I care about. If it's not for me, I'm not that fussed. Like I don't worry, I'm covered in other ways. So that's kind of how I see it in that sense.
I actually quite like that the IP has just, not disappeared, because I know that G.I. Joe is still doing stuff, but I like to look back at it, and I'm quite glad that it's not necessarily in the sort of zeitgeist anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's all about nostalgia for me, and and sometimes I quite wish that other things, like I wish that I was like, maybe it would be really cool if Star Wars, they never did anything after Jedi, and we'd be talking about it so differently. Yeah, maybe the same way that I sort of feel about G.I. Joe now. Yeah. So I'm not bothered. It's like they could still do it, but it's really the toys and the old school nostalgia that I'm kind of getting stuff from.
Yeah, good stuff. Anywho, Yojo Cola.
What were Yojo in this issue? 155.
Go on, Ben.
7.
Solid 7 from Ben. Chief, I think I am.
You just ask yourself that.
And I think Chief, I am going to give it a. I did like it. I think Larry did a good job with the limited time he had, and I actually thought it was. Whereas the last kind of stretch of issues have been kind of a little bit jokey, a little bit comedy. I thought it was, a good reflection on, war as a whole. So I'm going to also give it a 7, probably a high 7.
Cool. I'm going to go with 6.5, just to be a
6.5 for Diagnostic.
Also, are we not doing awards?
But right now, you are correct. We are doing some awards, and it is the last award show for Real American Hero.